Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, a beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I am Ramsey Abushala, editor of UrbanPitch.com. We got the co-executive directors of Vibes in the building for another solo episode. Julio Monterosa, Bridget Flores. What's going on, y'all?
We in here. The Vibes is vibing, continuing to vibe. We were vibing this weekend.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah.
It was a nice weekend. We had a PUMA event that we went to. Shout out to PUMA. Shout out to Neymar. They hosted, and it was in celebration of Neymar's new collection with PUMA. They did a 4x4 tournament. Had art, tech ball. You know, they were showing the U.S. game. Devin Kurtz was on the mic.
Shout out to Devin.
And then we saw our guy Neymar was in the building.
You know, just no biggie.
They did a good job of kind of
holding it down. For him.
Calming down the crowd
because kids were
because they could have easily gone berserk.
Yeah,
I'm like, how come you guys didn't get your VIP passes? Like, relax.
You don't got one of these.
Julio.
I was still wearing it today. I'm just kidding.
Julio, as we know, Julio is a menace once he gets any kind of special treatment.
As soon as Julio gets special treatment, he's not Julio. He's Don Julio.
Don
respect him.
No, honestly, like there was a gay. I'm not gonna lie, I did it twice. There was a gay where he was supposed to walk in and people crowded. So like I walked out and walked back in just so I can move him out the way.
No,
please, no pictures, please.
Hey, honestly, I was myself.
We had a little moment, right? Like we didn't go in together, but when I came in with Jess and we were going through the media entrance, there was just a bunch of people waiting with phones and like their cameras ready to like record. And we were coming in, and they were just like recording us, and we were just like, okay, like what is going on?
Because y'all low-key look famous
when
you were walking in.
Yeah,
you guys were looking famous.
Y'all put that on.
You had the sunglasses.
Yeah,
it was the sunglasses.
It was the vibe, right?
Yeah.
But you know, we didn't expect people to be ready to like, you know, bring us in and welcome us into the space. So we had a little moment, you know. Someone was like, obrigado, and I was like, obrigado.
No Portuguese,
It's me. But yeah, it was fun. I think it's just like a sneak peek to what we have coming into the summer of Footy 2024 and even, you know, after that. So I'm really excited. It was really dope it was the first weekend in summer. Sun was out, was a nice weather.
Copa America was
going on. Like
USA was,
you know, we were watching the tournaments go on. You know, those are just like my favorite events to be a part of.
Right. And you know, we do these every once in a while.
Right.
Especially, I feel like mostly only in the summer. You know, like we've been to a handful of these.
EA.
The EA one, we went to the Soho House a couple years back.
Shout out to the Soho House.
We did the PUMA one, another PUMA one last summer with AC Milan. So it's cool to get these events in the summer, you know, kind of rub shoulders with, you know, fellow media members and get to network
and
a
then
little bit.
To network, get to meet other people that are doing the work.
Definitely. We were in the media room. Like, we had influencers, people that we didn't know. Forgot the guy's name. The guy that was part of the Oakland Roots jersey release.
Yeah.
So it was just meeting all these people, and like honestly, sometimes me and Ramsey could be a little antisocial.
Right.
We do a lot of people watching, and we stay in a little corner. But I feel like I was a little bit more out and about this time around.
You have to kind of come out of your shell a little bit at these things, and I think it's like you said, Julio. It's not at least. You're a little more social than I am. It's not really my cup of tea, and that's something that I could be better at. But still, you know, getting to talk to different, you know, writers, photographers, content creators, whatever you want to call them, is always a good thing. And, you know, just kind of talking to like-minded people in the space was cool. So hopefully we can do that more often. But
no, definitely. But just getting back to the people, like the way these kids, adults, families
went crazy
for Neymar. Like once the event finished, they were trying to run around the event to go catch him drive off.
They were running down the streets of Hollywood, like trying to look for Neymar.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. Bet Online is your #1 source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, the game starts here. Yeah, and this is somebody who hasn't played in a long time. He hasn't played on the global spotlight for a long time, playing in Saudi Arabia. He was at the World Cup. But really, I mean, besides that, he has not been like
Neymar of old.
Right, the same Neymar. Does he still? So obviously, the ACL injury was devastating. I think that's something that's really dogged him his whole career. Whether it was the back injury at the World Cup in 2014, he's had a bunch of ankle injuries, and now an ACL injury. How old is he? He's like he's 31, 32. Somewhere, maybe a little older. I don't know.
No, around there.
Yeah,
like
he's in his
31.
early 30s. I think he's in early 30s. So he's not quite at that senior level yet, where he can still bounce back from this. But what do you think? Is there enough room at this point in Neymar's career for a final hurrah, whether it's in Saudi Arabia or maybe he makes a return to Europe afterwards?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Brazilian stars usually cap out around this time. If you think about Ronaldinho, El Fenomeno, R9, like 31, 32 is the time they usually retire, especially these superstars. It doesn't seem like now because Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi at the older age, but Brazilian stars usually cap out. Is it because the rumors of their party lifestyle or whatever it may be? But usually this is a time where a lot of the Brazilian stars, that star fades away. But I think he still has a little bit more soccer in him, even if he's not the Neymar of old. Seeing Brazil play, they need somebody with experience, somebody that's been through like there's a lot of talent. Seeing him tie against Costa Rica was crazy. Seeing
and
all that,
0-0 at
that. Like they have all that star power going forward, and they cannot make it happen. He could be that voice of reason for Brazil.
Yeah, it's possible. I think he does have a little bit more to offer in his soccer career. I don't think he's had the best of luck, but also when we were a part of the Q&A with him and the media, the way that he was talking about his recovery process and like the mentality that he's had to take on to recover from his injury and to try to get back on the pitch, to me, it sounded like he has a plan ready to go into it and to come back bigger and better than before. Yeah. Maybe not the same as before, but still, like, there's definitely a possibility of seeing him come back onto the pitch and, get things done.
Yeah, he seemed very, very disappointed, and like it seemed like he really missed being out there. And they were giving him a lot of these softball questions, and we kind of talked about that afterwards. But I mean, it's a PR event, right? Like, that's expected. But I think that was really the one time where he kind of shed the whole, oh yeah, I love PUMA, I love this and that, and this is so great, and everything is awesome, and this is a great event, all this and that, and he kind of was real for a second, where he was talking about, man, this has been tough, like the mentality of. More so than he said the physical pain was hard, but more so it's the mental ability, like the mental thing of I don't get to be out there training like I want to be every single day. And I mean, he's been doing this for so long. Another thing, I mean, 31 for him is different than 31 for other players, because he's been since he was a teenager, playing at a super, super high level. So there's a lot of mileage on those legs. You mentioned Ronaldinho and Fenomeno. Both of those guys were very notoriously had a lot of bad injuries. And I think Fenomeno in particular had,
22,
he had a really bad knee injury, and he's kind of one of the big what ifs, and still really had a
but he's
a great
an amazing career after that what if. Like he was playing with Inter, and then did like a little step over and just blew out his knee, which was crazy. Right. But seeing him like from how he was to like the end of his career, where he was still playing Real Madrid, still doing a great thing, looking like me, out of shape. So it showed like how much talent that person did have. Phenomenal. Still rated as one of the better players that ever played this game. But it's like going back to them, like all these Brazilian stars had a lot of like stuff in the tabloids, like 3-day parties before like a super game or like a Clásico or like a Champions League final. Like it's crazy. Like, and it's because like most of these guys come from nothing. Yeah. So when they get it, they enjoy it. Like, but it's part of the culture. Even when they play, they enjoy it. It's a lot of smiles, a lot of trickery, hiding the ball. Like Brazil, like when Brazil plays at a high level, it brings joy to everybody just because how happy they play.
Yeah. And I think Neymar, there's a lot of criticism around him, and some of it's fair, some of it's very unfair. But the love that people have for him, like I don't know if you guys saw this, but he was at the game last night at SoFi, and before the game, I don't know if it's before or after, but he was buying.
The street vendor?
Yeah. So they're selling the bootleg Brazil jerseys, and he called the guy over. He was like, "Yo, man, let me get 2 of them." Yeah. And I don't think the guy recognized him until he got there.
Up to him.
Yeah, and he was like,
"Dude, he literally jumped for joy." Like I've never seen like someone jump for joy like that. Like quickly, like he was just so the vendor was so happy, was so cute.
He did the Latino dad.
Yeah. He hit him for being scared and like mad.
That was such a Latino dad.
You're not gonna tell me it was you.
That was funny.
It was a really cute video.
So I really do think that his legacy, like when all is said and done, there was the whole. I mean, Ronaldinho went through it too, like you said, the tabloids and all this, and there's a lot of scrutiny on him. But now people look back on that guy and they're like, yeah, this is one of the greatest players, most fun players to ever watch. I think once all is said and done, even though maybe he didn't fully reach the heights that was intended, he still did pretty well. Like he got maybe 90% of the way there.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful that we had a chance to watch him and be a part of his prime, and we can tell people like Neymar was a little bit different, that
definitely just seeing him play since he was 16, seeing him at Copa Libertadores, seeing him with Santos, just seeing him how I can still vividly remember the move where he steps over it and then kicks it to the one side of the player and he goes to the other side and scores that goal. Like things like that. That
was the Puskas goal, right?
He was a world-class talent, and like we talked about it in the pod before, the prince that never became king, like due to like how the longevity of Messi and Cristiano, but this guy was the next, the next star. Like I said, the prince that never became king. I just wish he would have won in Real Madrid. He probably would have had like 7 Ballon d'Or.
That's
allegedly
conjecture.
Yeah.
So I think they will miss him when he steps away from the game for sure. And despite all of the buzz and hype and criticism around him, when it comes down to it, he was a baller. And,
if he would never got hurt 2014, Brazil could have really had a.
That would have been. I mean, that next game,
it could have been his final.
Yeah.
But like what Jay-Z said, you see how much. You see how it's gonna be when I'm gone.
Right. Yeah. So, not talking about that, like Brazil. You mentioned really disappointing draw against Costa Rica. I don't want to get too much into. We're recording this a little bit early, so I don't want to get too much into the results of each individual game. But so far, the vibes around Copa America and the Euros, as they've now we're getting into the late group stages. By the time this comes out, I think we'll be in the knockout rounds for both tournaments. What have you guys picked up on? Have you enjoyed these tournaments so far? Each one has had a significant vibe to it. What are you guys' biggest takeaways so far from these 2 tournaments?
First of all, for me, it's the fact that there's so many options right now. We got MLS, NWSL, Euros, Copa America. I love it and I'm here for it. And also it's also like another sneak peek of what we're going to see when the World Cup comes around again in 2026.
More teams as well.
I love it, especially because it's the summer. And I think, I don't know about you all, but I feel like this is giving us what we didn't have.
We got robbed
in 2022.
Right, exactly.
And we were pining for that.
We really were. And we were trying really hard to keep up, but the time for the timing of it was just crazy.
It'll be dark at 5 p.m. and
And now we got 12 o'clock games you can watch during your lunch break. Or during a meeting. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
I'm not doing that, but
right.
But that's what I do enjoy. That's takeaway. Lots of games, lots of options. I think that there's a lot of attention coming into it. I think because of the fact that it's during the summer and we have a lot of, I think people have more time right now because some people could be on summer break or whatever the case may be. As far as the games go, the vibes go, I mean, for me, the Euros, I think it's always just like, what, Germany's going to win. They're going to take it. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I think that it's turning, and there's like turning points happening that are kind of shutting that down.
Yeah. It's been very chaotic. So
yeah. Italy, Croatia, like.
Yeah.
Today, there's been a lot of crazy upsets and crazy like underdogs coming through.
These last minute extra time goals are like ridiculous.
Insane.
Like, you know, like Italy had one to get through to the next round, like in the 98th minute. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was tough.
I feel bad for Margaret.
Me too, man. I feel so bad. Like, those are that emotional piece of it is what like really brings me back to just like why I love footy so much. Is just because of those like, and it's so hard to see, but like we're never gonna forget that.
Yeah, and the international games, like, it's so much more chaotic. I mean, Copa America has its own brand of chaos. Euros has ridiculous, like it's very frantic, and we're used to watching, you know, Barcelona or Man City or Arsenal. Everything is so precise, you know, everything is like almost robotic to where it's like, you know, it's fun to watch, it's fluid, it's beautiful, it's pleasing to watch, but there's something about this that makes it feel like it's almost refreshing to see, like, oh my God, dude, these guys are just like putting it all out there and like has this chaotic vibe to the game.
Yeah, I saw a meme that said watching the Euros is like seeing art, and watching the Copa America is like seeing a bar fight at 3 a.m.
It's a Kimbo Slice brawl, dude.
It's like, even though like they both are different, but you both still can't stop watching both.
Yeah.
Like, and it's true. Like, you see in Euros, like, it's a lot more tactical playing opposed to like Copa, like Costa Rica. Like you said, I'm sorry, but you say you don't want to get into it, but like they were like throwing their bodies like in like a lot of the smaller teams, like against the bigger teams. They're basically playing like it's a bar fight, like they're going after every ball like it's their last day there, like, but at the end of the day, like if you're a Costa Rica, if you're a Panama, if you're a smaller team playing against Argentina that has big names, like this could potentially mean that you get a contract in Europe. So of course you're gonna see like, nah, Messi can't take me on, I don't care, and you gonna put your body in the line. But just seeing this different type of soccer, seeing the energy from the morning being real calm, then in the afternoon it gets real violent, like it's good. Like it gets you hyped up all day.
It's its own brand of chaos in Copa America because the Euros is very chaotic as it is, but when you see some of these fouls, or like that they're not calling fouls.
In Copa America.
Yeah, you know, like you like there are some like 2-footed tackles. Like, dude, did you see the Ecuador red card? It was like 30 minutes into the game, like for no reason the dude came, like the dude came at the guy in Venezuela's neck, like boots, but like literally.
Oh right, that he hit him in the face.
Yeah.
But like these two, like this, like especially the CONMEBOL teams, like they have history,
right?
Like, history that brews up for years. So in Europe,
on
but
and off the
pitch,
pitch,
CONMEBOL is like. It's like the Copa Libertadores is like crazy. So like these they know each other from there. So like these beefs are like long lasting beefs. So, but it's amazing how much soccer is going. Like whatever you like. If you like more tactical soccer, you can find a team and follow them. If you like seeing that, like hell yeah, like he's going in strong. If you like that type of soccer, you can see that. So like right now, whatever you want to see, whatever you want to do with soccer in the soccer aspect, right now is the time because you're getting it all. Like,
and if you're not in it right now, don't be asking later because we're not letting you in. Like,
definitely.
You're not in it right now, you for sure need to tap in.
And that's one thing that I want to talk about as well because talking about the differences between Euro and Copa America, the Euros in Germany, the atmosphere both in and outside the stadiums, like that they're capturing is insane. And I don't want to take anything away from the Copa America because I think there has been some really good atmospheres. Like at last night, Brazil and Costa Rica played here in LA, and I think it was a packed stadium. You know, like, but it has been noticeably emptier stadiums in the U.S. You know, I was watching Canada play. Was it Peru or Chile? I think it's Peru. Canada played Peru in Kansas City earlier today, and the stadium was like 55-60% full.
First of all, it's because they were overcharging for parking. Like
so there's a lot of reasons, right?
There is.
Number one, I think the marketing behind this tournament. I don't see any billboards. I don't see any commercials.
I don't see Kobe Bryant talking about Messi. Like,
right? Yeah. Kobe.
And the Centenarios.
The last Copa America that was here in the U.S., he was doing promo spots
Messi,
for it.
Charito, like
yeah. That was awesome. I saw that too. But I don't think the marketing is bad. I don't think the tournament, unless you're a soccer fan, like the casual American, the average American soccer fan or sports fan, I don't think is aware of this tournament, or if they are aware of it, they don't really care about it. They're not invested in it. And I don't know if that's because of soccer's status in the U.S. or if it's because there hasn't been enough of a push for this. And the fact that it's not the World Cup, Americans are all like, if it's not the biggest thing, then why should I care about it? That's one thing. The prices is another thing that I think we can go into. But what do you think is the biggest issue, whether it's a marketing issue, a pricing issue, or just the fact that soccer just isn't the top or at the top of many American sports fans' minds?
I think it's a factor of everything. Like I was seeing people write on Twitter, X.
Twitter.
Yeah, so like you should get these $100,000 college stadiums and sell the ticket for $20 so you can sell it out and show people how much an American fan can really get invested into the sports. But like if you a friend bought 3 tickets for $560 yesterday, like ridiculous amount. And then you gotta think about, this is not gonna be the only tournament in the U.S. More tournaments are coming, so you gotta think about, like, I gotta save my money for the World Cup. Yeah. And it's true, because like that is the biggest tournament. That's what everybody wants to see. So it's a lot of factor, plus like parking,
food, transport.
And then don't get me wrong, get it how y'all live, everybody. Like if y'all live, especially if y'all live in these houses around there, sell them parking spots. Right. I know I did it when I was growing up. You make your money, but like especially for a new group that's barely getting invested into the soccer. The U.S. is playing great, by the way. So like all these factors can literally make this sport blow up in this country. It's just that greed, which the money talks, but we just have to find better ways to like to just like have people come into the stadium.
To that point, all big sporting events in the U.S., like specifically the U.S., it's expensive. It's expensive to go to the NBA Finals. It's expensive to go to an NBA playoff game or an NFL playoff game or the World Series or whatever it is. All these events are expensive to go to, on top of the parking, on top of the food, on top of, if you're going to take a flight or whatever to these games. All that is expensive. And I think that this tournament it's an important tournament, and it does merit 80, 100, 150 for like a not a great seat. Like to me, if this is an important event to you, like let's say you have Brazilian or Costa Rican or whatever, like if you have heritage tied to this to a certain team and you care about soccer is like something that you really care about, you're planning for this months and months, maybe even a year in advance once the tickets are announced and all that. If you have to pay, let's say $500, that's not an insignificant amount of money. I don't care who you are, right? But if you're planning for this a long time in advance, right, you can save that amount of money. That's not an impossible amount of money to save up for, right? And those are the types of people that are saving up for, the people who are very passionate, who have maybe familial ties, who want to bring their kids to these events, share that moment with them, create bonds, create memories, all this and that. There just aren't enough people in the U.S. that have that kind of passion for these games. And $500, if like, hey, you don't go check out the Copa America, they're playing here on a weekend, like it's tickets $100, parking another 50, food another 50. I don't have that money to spend on a whim,
Right.
So and that is why I think it's hard for people to just be like, if they don't know what this event is happening and they don't have enough time to plan for it,
they're not gonna do
it's
it.
not worth the spend for the last minute, so I think that's a big reason for it. And it just sucks because I want to see the same stadium environments that are in Europe that you see, these Turkey fans, the Georgia fans, the Scotland fans, like really up. Just like putting it all out there.
The U.S. puts a lot of restrictions on like what you can do inside stadiums that like take some of this atmosphere. It's like basically caging some of these fans in, especially South American fans. They are rowdy. Yeah. If you see their tournaments, you see their home league games, like it can get intense. Like a Boca River or whatever, a Barcelona in Ecuador, like it can get really, really intense. So I feel like the U.S. I don't think we will ever let that happen, just because how
liability.
How pro everything we are. So
says we're too woke.
we too woke. Which is a good thing, though. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad thing. Don't cancel me.
Looks at the camera. Don't cancel me.
Don't cancel me. I love all y'all. But like, it's just hard. It's hard to like, because in their culture is acceptable. Right here is really not.
Yeah.
I think that's also because the fans bring that expectation and they bring like that ask. Like they're putting it out there that they want to be there and they're gonna get loud and they're gonna get rowdy. So then, you know, I think that the government or their country has to listen to that, because it's either you don't listen and you don't support and create boundaries for them, and it's gonna get crazy and it's gonna get messy.
Yeah, but they've also sent games to Spain. Like they did the Boca River Libertadores final.
Right.
They couldn't do it because
it's Gallina's main support guy from Boca, man.
Yeah. So they wanted to get rid of all the home field advantage. Right. Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying.
But that's pretty sick.
Right. So I mean, I think that's a good point.
But then again, it's not the World Cup.
I was gonna say the same thing.
We like for the average soccer fan, they're still trying to go to like LAFC games, and I'm like, dude, like it's a whole bigger tournament going on right now.
Yeah.
LAFC can wait.
Right.
Yeah, but people are trying to save up for the World Cup. Like the World Cup's about to be stupid expensive.
It's gonna be.
Let's be honest.
It's gonna be.
I'm trying to fix my garage.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go to one of the games, but even then, like any fan has to like figure out, all right, how much is it gonna be? How much should I start budgeting? Like, what should I cut out of my expenses? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like, if the Copa America is here right now, but I'm trying to go watch the World Cup in a few years, I'm gonna prefer to just save up for the World Cup.
Yeah, and I think that's a marketing thing as well, because Copa America isn't directly competing with the World Cup because they're not going on at the same time.
Right.
But they are kind of competing with the World Cup because, like you said, maybe some people are going to be like, 500 now or 1,000 in 2 years. I'd rather do 1,000 in 2 years and really have that
semifinal.
Because even if you spend $500 to go to a Copa America game and the stadium's half full, like, what do you really like? You're not really getting that experience
on a Monday.
Yeah.
So the tickets are reselling for like. It's not a full stadium. Why the hell are tickets not dropping?
Yeah, right.
It's crazy. It's just
yeah, man.
Robots.
They need to scammers. Tell all your scammer friends to chill out.
Right. Ticketmaster is the biggest scammers.
What's up? I need it. Yeah.
Them too, man. Yeah. AKA Ticketmaster.
Yeah, those guys are scamming. They're
scammers.
Yeah. So I think. Is there a certain tournament that you guys have enjoyed more than the other so far?
I think for me, the way that we were talking about it, the Euros is a little bit more classy, a little bit more organized, like, fancy footwork. And then Copa America is just like loud and aggressive and like chaotic and ratchet. So like I think
that's
Copa
what we
America.
That's what we are. Yeah. I'm with Bridget 100%. You didn't have to finish that sentence. I know where you go with this. I'm there 100%.
You could see her body language, like as she went loud and physical and rat. She's getting more animated.
I'm like, we're the happy hour right now. What's up?
She didn't even have to finish.
Yeah,
oh man, hey, I'm ready.
You know where I was going.
Yeah,
I'm celebrating America this whole week.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the Copa America knockout rounds because
that's when it's gonna be fun.
Compared to the Euros, I think Copa America is a little more top heavy.
Oh, it hasn't seemed like that though.
It hasn't seemed like that.
Yeah.
Mostly because Brazil. I mean, we're only one game in as we're talking about it right now. I'm just talking about it in general, where Brazil. Like you look at the way the bracket is set up. If Brazil's not in the final, then it's a massive failure on their part because it's like Mexico and and Ecuador. Like whereas on the other side, it's Argentina, Colombia, and the U.S. are all on one side. So
shout out to the U.S.
But I'm thinking the way the games that have panned out so far. Once it comes knockouts out, and if these, because obviously every game in the group stage matters, but it's not win or go home. Once it becomes win or go home, you're gonna see eyeballs get poked out. You're gonna see elbows to the temple. Like it's gonna
mercy.
Right, and so I cannot wait for that because.
That's when it gets exciting.
Everybody has Colombia winning, and we'll see. They haven't lost.
Hey, listen, you gotta give credit where credit's due, and Colombia is doing their thing.
Right.
Colombia for the last 2 years, because they're unbeaten since like 2021. if you didn't know.
Well, they didn't make the World Cup.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, look, so they didn't make the World Cup. So look at the way that they're redeeming themselves. They're showing up. They're like putting together a solid team. They're holding each other down. They're not leaning on one player, one veteran.
The wingers are crazy.
Everyone's putting in the effort, and they're bringing the vibes, and they're bringing the dynamic and the rhythm. And if I'm not rooting for Mexico, my second one is Colombia.
Drug test both countries.
So I'm excited. I love to see what they're doing, and it'd be lit if they make it.
Yeah, definitely. I like Colombia's way of playing. Their uniforms are crazy as well. Like they're just doing it right. But like I'm telling y'all right now, the U.S. is gonna surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
They honestly looked amazing. Like they had an idea. Then again, like second half, they freaking slowed down again.
Yeah.
Something about them, their second halves are not the best, but I like their backline. Richardson, Richards,
Robinson, and Scally.
Yeah, Scally. Let's work on you, but like no,
I thought
but
he was okay. I thought Scally did well. I thought Scally did well.
He did great. It's just like seeing Serginho Dest, like he's great defending. He just doesn't go up as much as like a Serginho Dest. But like the team looks solid. We found our 9. We started our 9. He scored a goal for us. So like it's good. Like it's looking up. I'm telling you that they might make it further than what people think.
Yeah. I did not put this in the doc, so I might be catching you guys off guard. But if you could pick a winner for both the Euros and Copa America, I mean, by the time this comes out, I believe we'll be well into the knockout rounds. So we haven't. We could be way off. We could be way off. But I mean, that's the beauty of these things. We can either look like geniuses or look like idiots. So pick a winner for the Copa America. Pick a winner for the Euros.
Euros, I'm gonna go with Spain.
Spain's
looking nice.
They looking nice.
3 wins in a row.
And
Jose Lu.
Yeah, Jose Lu. So
Jose Lu.
Hate that name. He's such an amazing player.
The thing with Spain is, for years they were really frustrating to watch because they would do this. You know, they would pass they have like 600 passes. They'd have 60%.
First of all, it's beautiful.
65, 70%. No, it's not beautiful when you're passing the ball backwards. They could not get up the field because they did not have.
They weren't finishing.
Their forwards were not Alvaro Morata was their best finisher, and he's extremely streaky. And I think he's still their starting 9, and he's looked a lot better recently. I think even at the World Cup, I think he did okay. But now with Yamal, with Nico Williams on the wings, those two are incredible, like so
young kids,
just extremely. Every time they touch the ball, it's like
Yamal's out there doing homework and playing.
Dude, he can't even play a full 90.
Yeah.
He cannot play a full 90 because it's going against labor laws in Germany.
Oh my God.
Like
that's
idiot, bro. Stop doing homework.
Like, bro, you already made it, man.
I think
let that for the scrubs.
Like hit up one of your friends. I think they got you.
Yeah.
I was in college having
matter
my
of fact, send it to me.
If you were in college, maybe that's one thing. But bro, you're literally
in high school. Like,
I was in college having my ex-girlfriend do my work, and I was just a scholarship athlete. Like,
can you imagine being Yamal's like high school teacher, and he's literally turning in assignments while you're watching him play?
He's down. Like, I'll give you some tickets if you give me an A. Like, let's
literally
work together.
It's like that meme. It's like, bro, imagine being in algebra 2, knowing you have to play against LeBron James.
Yeah. That is crazy as hell. Man.
You just finished your algebra 2 test, and you're marking up Lamine Yamal. Like, what's going? But yeah, I think so. Spain, that's been the biggest difference, and that's why they had an okay group. I think. They were the group of death. They played really well in that group, and they were clinical finishing, and I think that's put them over the edge. Whereas in years past, it was like they have 65-75% possession and they can't score a goal, and it's it was the most infuriating thing to watch. Now it's beautiful to watch because they're getting up the field, they're creative, they have dynamic wingers, and so they're really, really dangerous.
18 and 16, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know how old Nico Williams is, but I know he's pretty young. Yeah.
So I'll pick. I'm a ride or die for England.
Okay.
I honestly really like their uniform.
That's why.
Yeah.
Because they've been.
He's all about the looks.
They have been playing.
No, I see the memes like they say they're playing boring. Like they're not playing boring. They just gotta get it together.
Dude, I watched the game. I watched the game today, bro. It was Gareth Southgate is like all the criticisms that have been thrown towards Greg Berhalter.
Oh, he deserved it
100 times that onto Gareth Southgate because the talent level of England is
way better.
Even higher than what the U.S. has.
There's a lot of memes saying like the coach sending players on like, hey, like go tell this player just hi. Like, like he doesn't know what he's doing. But
Damn.
I'm a rock with England. Hopefully they can get it together. I just feel bad. Like this team gets hype every tournament and they never like produce. So I'm feeling like, hey, it has to roll. 7 has to roll one of these games.
Yeah.
But for the Copa America, I'm staying with the home country. I don't care. USA.
All right.
Pollution's versus everybody. I don't care.
Okay. All right. You
For
see
Copa
one game against
America.
Bolivia, and it's over.
Believe if once I start doing that, it's over.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
I
Americans.
Bolivia that we will win.
I believe you. No, first of all, Bolivia didn't have no chance.
No.
Paraguay, I definitely think the U.S. can beat Paraguay.
Panama.
Panama. I definitely feel like definitely beat Panama. Uruguay, like, ooh,
Yeah.
they look pretty good, but like, forget them scrubs. We're gonna beat them too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
Mic drop. Copa America, I don't know. Listen, Mexico right now is going through it. And so I just want to send them all the positive vibes. And they won their first game. Wasn't looking too great. They won, whatever. Like, we'll take it. We'll see how they do in the rest of the tournament, but
they're on the easier side of the bracket, so
they are
Super easy.
Yeah.
And we most likely lost our captain, so there goes
it was a non-contact injury, and
non-contact injuries are never good.
No, that's not the one you want.
So I'm liking the way that Colombia's looking. I want to be hopeful, and you know what, I'm gonna put it out there for them. I'm gonna say Colombia could possibly take
Colombia
it.
wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then your Euro was Spain. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. I love Spain. I think they're my favorite team to watch so far in the Euros. They're right now lined up on their side of the bracket is with Germany and France and Portugal as well. I think Portugal I'm not too worried about, but it's Germany. Germany, we did an article on the site last week or the week before. I'm not sure. I don't remember when, but it was about how Germany's kind of turned things around. It was not looking good for them for a while. You know, after the 2014 World Cup, didn't make it out of the group stage, 2018, 2022, had a disappointing Euros in 2021. The manager situation wasn't great. They brought in Julian Nagelsmann, who's really turned things around. The vibes are up. The jersey, back to Julio's look good, play good adage. That purple and pink jersey is fire.
Nike's coming next.
Yeah. They're gonna get Nike. So Adidas might be rigging this tournament so that Germany wins in an Adidas jersey. It's gonna be between whoever makes it out of the Germany Adidas side or Germany and Spain side. Both happen to be Adidas teams. Yeah. Since you said Spain, I'm rooting for Spain, but I'm gonna switch it up. I'll say Germany in the home. They just feel like the team of destiny. They had that last minute goal to tie it up.
We can't count out France though. It's just gonna be so good.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be amazing.
And it's the knockout stage is gonna be so much fun. Copa America, it's much harder to predict, and it's like, I mean, going up even. In the knockout round, it's hard to count out like a Chile. It's hard to count out a Peru.
Definitely.
Because like these teams are scrappy. I mean, we saw the game that the second game of the tournament when they faced off. It was a scoreless draw, but it was like a more MMA fight than it was.
Finish him.
Yeah, right. You know, like it was bows were being thrown. It was crazy. So playing against those teams in the knockout rounds is no slouch. So. But I want to say Brazil turns things around. I want to see Brazil win. Brazil hasn't. I don't know when the last time Brazil has won the Copa America. But I think it's not looking like a good prediction now. But I'm going with my heart on this one, and I really want Brazil to win.
So everybody has Uruguay or Argentina. Like the crazy part, we just counted Argentina like they're not the defending World Cup champions, which is crazy on our part. But like Uruguay's playing.
That's a boring pick, though. That's not good content.
I know that's a boring pick, but like Uruguay is still there, and like they've been Colombia and Uruguay have been heavily talked about. Like these are the teams that are going to win this tournament, and like for a good reason. They've been playing good. So like, what do you think about these two teams?
Uruguay and
Argentina.
I mean, first off, I think the talent level you can't ignore the talent on both rosters, and I just hope. For Uruguay, I hope that the U.S. plays them. They're going to play next Tuesday, which is when this episode is going to come out. So I just hope that game is going to be competitive. I don't want it to be the worst thing that could happen would be an embarrassing finish for the U.S., even if we end up clinching and advancing to the next round. This is the game, I think, that's going to be the measuring tape for American fans is, can we get a marquee win? Because it's always been draw. We drew against England in the World Cup. We drew against Brazil in the friendly. The only marquee wins that aren't against Mexico for the U.S. is that Iran win, you know? So we're as American fans, we're starving for a win against a really prestigious nation, and I hope that could be that Uruguay, but it's not going to be easy. And I think that this tournament is it's gonna be whoever can take the most punches and stand up at the end, because it's gonna be a boxing match.
Let the fun begin.
Yeah.
I switched my pick. I'm gonna go back to Argentina.
Boring.
Damn, bro. So you went from USA all day.
But
back to Messi.
I was like, nah. Honestly, I just want Messi to win everything he can win, because it's good for MLS.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, we got the best player in the world.
Dang.
We got the best player. MLS has the best player in the world.
All right, let's wrap things up there. This has been another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, The Beautiful Game of Life, part of the Believe Network. Keep it tapped in. The summer of soccer is just beginning. We're gonna be going on the whole summer, and I mean forever, hopefully. But keep it tapped in. We appreciate everybody who's been listening. Shout out to everybody who came up to us at the event and was talking to us about the show. That made everything worth it.
Definitely.
Being out there in the heat on a Sunday
Me and Bridget
afternoon.
gonna start playing more soccer tournaments coming up.
Yeah.
This summer.
Hit us
Yeah.
up.
Some of you content creators, I think we better than y'all. So hey, bring it on.
Yeah,
He's
all
not
right.
wrong.
Yeah.
Facts, no
Turn it
printer.
up.
Bridget's feeling herself. She had one good Sunday
Bangers.
game.
Hey, bangers.
Bangers.
It's a weekend full of bangers.
Best co-ed in the content space right now.
Period.
All right, we're out of here. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.